Hello, boys and girls of Path Preschool. How are you doing today? Are you having a good day? Do you know what? When I woke up this morning while I was eating my breakfast, I looked outside and there were snowflakes falling outside. I don't think they're going to stick on the ground, but it sure was fun to see some snow falling while I ate my Cheerios. Well, today we are going to have story time together. I have picked out 3 of my favorite books to read to you. And so I just want you to get comfortable and cozy and enjoy listening to these 3 wonderful stories. One of them is about a dog, one of them is about a teddy bear, and the last one is about a blue dump truck. You might have heard some of them before, but I hope that you will enjoy listening to them today with me. Let's get started. The Diggingest Dog by Al Perkins, illustrated by Eric Gurney. I was the saddest dog you could ever see. Sad because no one wanted me. The pet shop window was my jail. The sign behind me said, "For sale." I was tied to a bare, hard floor of stone. I could not even dig for a bone. I was living all my life alone, a dog that no one wanted to own. And then one day at 4:30, Sammy Brown came in the door. Sam took one look at me and cried, "Why are you tied up here inside?" "I've always wanted a dog like you, so I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'll take you out to the farm with me. You'll play outdoors where you should be." Oh, I felt as happy as a pup. When Sam paid the man and picked me up, he rubbed my ears, he scratched my head. "I think I'll call you Duke," he said. Sam gave me a collar, he gave me a lead. We left that shop at tremendous speed. We went a long way out of town. We came to the farm of Sammy Brown. It was the nicest place I'd ever seen. A pretty white house in a field of green. And in the shade of the apple tree, a special doghouse just for me. Next morning, while Sam did his chores, he let me run and play outdoors. I'd never played outdoors before. I'd always lived on that hard floor. I'd never run on nice soft ground. Now I barked with joy as I ran around. Sam looked at me and scratched his head. "Duke, you need some friends," he said. He blew his whistle, he blew a blast, and many dogs came running fast. Boys and girls, how many dogs can we find here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 new friends for Duke. I'd never met a dog before. Now I was meeting 6 or more. Oh, look, there's some more friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my goodness. They walked around and looked at me. They looked me over carefully. Then at last I heard them say, "He's one of us. He'll be okay." One dog, who wasn't very big, suddenly began to dig. The others started digging too, but that was something I could not do. I'd never learned to dig in that store. How could I? On that hard stone floor. I tried to dig, but alas, I couldn't. I wiggled my paws just wouldn't. I fell on my ear, I fell on my face, I fell on myself all over the place. Poor Duke. The others said, "Duke may be big, but he's no good. He cannot dig." They stuck their noses in the air. They walked away. They left me there. Oh, boys and girls, how do you think Duke is feeling right now? Yeah, look at his face. He looks sad. "I'll teach you, Duke," cried Sammy Brown. "I'll show you how to dig deep down." He crouched beside me. With his hand, he dug a hole in a pile of sand. I tried it too, but still I couldn't. I wiggled my paws. My paws just wouldn't. I'd never learned to dig in that store. How could I? On that hard stone floor. Sammy sighed. I almost cried. My eyes and nose were full of dirt. My paws and claws and elbows hurt. I had a pain across my back. I knew I'd never get the knack. Sam felt sad, and I felt bad. If only I could make him glad. We both knew I'd never get it right. Sam and I couldn't sleep that night. So when the sun rose in the sky, I thought I'd give it one more try. I wiggled one paw. I saw it could. I wiggled the other. I saw it would. I could dig with my paws. I could dig with my claws. I felt no pain across my back. I knew at last I had the knack. I just kept trying. Sammy Brown looked out at me. He saw me digging happily. "Good for you, Duke," Sammy cried. "I knew you'd do it if you tried." So I dug farther. I dug faster. I dug and dug to please my master. Look, he dug up a mouse. I dug up grass. I dug up weeds. I dug up daisies. I dug up seeds. I dug up the fence. Ooh, I dug up the gates. I dug up the garden of Mrs. Thwaites. Oh my goodness. How do you think Mrs. Thwaites feels about that? Yeah, I think she is a little upset. I dug up the oh, maybe she's very upset. I dug up the rooster. I dug up the hens. I dug up the sheep and pigs in their pens. I dug and dug. I couldn't stop. I dug up the barber in his shop. I dug up Mr. Rodney Thayer sitting in the barber chair. I dug my way right through the town. I dug a lot of buildings down. I was having so much fun, I dug up Highway 81. Look, 81. I came to a hill. I dug to the top, but all of a sudden, reach! I had to stop. Right in front of me, looking down, there stood my master, Sammy Brown. How does Duke look? What is he feeling right now? Maybe surprised. You think maybe he feels a little bit scared? Sam didn't smile or pat my head. He only glared at me and said, "I'm sending you back to that animal store. They'll tie you to that hard stone floor and you'll never, never dig anymore." Oh, clearly Sam is angry at Duke for digging and making such a mess. I couldn't run. I couldn't hide. Dogs came at me from every side. And then suddenly I knew there was just one thing for me to do. I ran away from Sammy Brown. I dug a hole that went straight down. I left him standing up on top. I dug and dug. I didn't stop. He's scared. How deep I dug, I could not tell. But soon I found I'd dug a well. Mud and water up to my chin. What a fix I now was in. I started to sink. I started to yelp. "Help!" I yelped. "Help, help, help, help!" I could hear them way above my head. I could hear every word they said. One dog growled. "He wrecked our town. This serves him right. Just let him drown." But Sam cried, "Duke, you've been bad. You've made me sad instead of glad. But we're not going to let you die. We'll get you out. At least we'll try." Then at last I heard him shout, "Maybe we can pull you out." Oh, look, all of his friends are lining up to help. Slowly, slowly down they came, each dog part of a long dog chain. I reached up, I touched a nose, I felt them lift me by my toes. Slowly, slowly, bit by bit, they dragged me up out of the pit. I thanked the dogs and Sammy Brown, and then I started back toward town. I knew I had to dig once more to fix the things up as they were before. That's what I did. I dug back gates, I dug back the garden of Mrs. Thwaites, I dug back the roosters and the hens, I dug back all the pigs in their pens. I dug all day in the summer sun, I dug back Highway 81. I dug back everything in town, everything that I'd knocked down. Today when I dig, well, I'm careful now. I'm useful too. Sam lets me plow. He'll never send me to that store or tie me up on a hard stone floor. My dog friends watch and wonder why they can't dig as well as I. Look, everybody looks happy again. The end. Corduroy by Don Freeman. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Then, one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look! There's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button to one of his shoulder straps." Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I'd lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight I'll go and see if I can find it." Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. Could this be a mountain, he wondered? I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there, before his eyes, was a most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. "This must be a palace," Corduroy gasped. "I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace." He wandered around admiring the furniture. "This must be a bed," he said. "I've always wanted to sleep in a bed," and up he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. All at once he saw something small and round. "Why, here's my button," he cried, and he tried to pick it up, but like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. He yanked and pulled with both paws until pop! Off came the button, and off the mattress Corduroy toppled. Bang! Into a tall floor lamp, and over it fell with a crash. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. "Now who in the world did that?" he exclaimed. "Somebody must be hiding around here." He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all. And there he saw two fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. "Hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator. and set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning, and there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I've saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." "Shall I put him in a box for you?" the saleslady asked. "Oh, no thank you," Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight to her own room. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. "This must be home," he said. "I know I've always wanted a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. "I like you the way you are," she said, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened." "You must be a friend," said Corduroy. "I've always wanted a friend." "Me too," said Lisa, and gave him a big hug. The end. Little Blue Truck by Alice Schertle, illustrated by Jill McElmurray. Horn went beep, engine purred, friendliest sounds you ever heard. Little Blue Truck came down the road. "Beep," said Blue to a big green toad. Toad said "Croak" and winked an eye when Little Blue Truck went rolling by. Let's count the frogs. We'll start over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 frogs. Sheep said, "Baa." Cow said, "Wow." "Oink," said a piggy. "Beep," said Blue. "Cluck," said a chicken, and her chick said, "Beep." "Ma," said a goat. Blue said, "Beep." "Neigh," said a horse. "Quack," said a duck. "Beep," said the friendly Little Blue Truck. "Honk," yelled a dump truck, "coming through. I've big, important things to do. I haven't got time to pass the day with every duck along the way." Vroom, went the dump around a curve. He saw a puddle, and he tried to swerve. Into the mud rolled the big fat truck, and his big, important wheels got stuck. Uh-oh. His heavy-duty dump truck tires were sunk down deep in muck and mire. "Honk!" cried the dump, and he sounded scared. But nobody heard, or nobody cared, because he hadn't been very nice, had he? Then, into the mud, bump, 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 came the Little Blue Truck to help the dump. Little Blue pushed with all his might. Now Blue and the dump were both stuck tight. Oh no. "Help, help, help," cried the Little Blue Truck. "Beep, beep, beep, I'm stuck, I'm stuck." Everybody heard that beep, beep, beep. The cow came running with the pig and the sheep. Up at a gallop round the big brown horse, Goat jumped over the fence, of course. The hen came flapping with the chick and the duck, and everybody pushed the Little Blue Truck. Head to head and rump to rump, they all pushed Blue, who pushed the dump. They couldn't quite budge that heavy load. Then who hopped up? but the big green toad. All together, 1, 2, 3. One last push, and the trucks were free. Thanks, little brother, said the dump to Blue. You helped me, and they helped you. Now I see a lot depends on a helping hand from a few good friends. Beep, said Blue. Who wants a ride? Everybody scrambled to jump inside. Oink, quack, baa. Moo, cluck, beep. Neigh, croak, ma. Beep, beep, beep. The end. Well, what did you think? Did you enjoy those stories? Thanks for joining me. Maybe now that you have listened to these great stories, you could take a little bit of time, sometime the rest of today, and draw a picture from your favorite one. Maybe you liked the Diggingest dog, and so you could draw a picture of Duke. Or maybe you really liked the story about Corduroy, and so you could draw a picture of a teddy bear. Or maybe you could draw a picture of your favorite stuffed animal. Or maybe you really like trucks, and so you want to draw a picture of the little blue truck. Well, I would love to see the pictures that you draw if you would like to take a picture of one of those and send it to me. Well, boys and girls, we want you to know that you are special, and we are so glad that you are a part of Path. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.